Hi, this is Rick Perry for rickcperry.com. I got a web blog, Pro Audio Development, and today we're building a flight case. And I've got all the hardware and everything from Penn-Elcom, and all the parts cost me about $130, and a little steep on shipping. You know, I got probably 160, 170 and everything. So that's why I'm going with OSB. It's just a storage case, actually. So we've already made all our cuts and everything, and now we're getting ready. We're working with the extruded aluminum, the angle here, and I wanted to show you how I cut this. My son's with me. He's going to take the camera here in a minute, but he was kind of blown away because I actually broke out this saw here. And a lot of people will actually grab this, a miter box, and they will work their hands off just sawing and sawing. But if you're careful and you're slow, you can use a miter saw with just a regular blade. I think that's an 80 tooth. But so anyway, most of the time you use plywood, 1/2 inch plywood. You know, it's probably twice or 3 times what this costs. And if I was hauling something real heavy, I would probably use that. But this case is going to be from mic stands and maybe an audio snake. So I'm going to use OSB. I'm just going to paint it with textured paint, and it's going to be like a satin black. So anyway, here's the basis of the video. We're going to cut this piece of extruded aluminum. And you can actually use the miter feature when you do the top. When you do this piece, this is the edge extrusion. You have to miter those ends, and you can use the same feature a little more. You have to calculate a little more, but alright, so anyway, we're going to cut this piece 21 and, what was it, 21 3/4? And I'm going to hand the camera to Derek. And the other piece, that's 22 3/4, and you allow 1/2 inch on each end, so that's 21 3/4. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to take, first I'm going to get just a basic 21 3/4 right there. And you get my tape measure ready. And pull that tooth down. Come over here. Pull the tooth down. And we're going to set this in here like this. You don't want to cut it that way. It'll ruin it. Put it in there like this. We're going to take that tooth and set it right here. And just kind of hold it there. And I'm going to take my tape and go in up against that tooth and measure. And I've got 21 3/4 right on the end there. So now we're ready to cut. But make sure you got glasses on. And you probably won't need hearing protection because it's not as loud as you think, but we're going to cut through it. So you cut slow. If you go fast, it'll just ruin it. Here we go. And there's your cut. It won't take very much to clean that. I mean, it's hardly nothing there. If you want to, you can take a file and you can file that off. And there's the other end. You got a little piece like that. And that's it. So you can use the miter box, or you can use this saw. Okay, I wanted to add something onto the video here. We were cutting little bitty small pieces off the edge, and I actually I put a little block stop right here, and I pushed the material up to the stop and I cut it, and that was the dangerous thing to do. I'm looking around, I can't find a piece of that aluminum laying here, but trust me, it got caught between the blade and it flew off. Derek, hold this up please. And see if I can show you. Okay, Derek found a piece. I'm looking for that tooth. Or lack of. There it is right there. If you look, there, let's see if I can turn my light on and see if it helps. Yeah. If you look there, you can see there's no teeth. Let me back up, see if it'll focus better. And you see the teeth on these? And then you don't see a tooth there? What happened was this. That got caught between the blade, and it come out of there, and you see the scars on my hand. I was had my hand over here, and the piece come under the blade and shot out, and it actually hit me in the belly too. But so then I got to thinking, okay, you let go. How to do it safer. Now, if you're cutting a long piece, it's no big deal. But if you're cutting short pieces, they can be projectiles. So take a piece of your scrap, and you can see several cuts. This worked out so great. The piece sits dead still and does not move because when you got it held up against here like this, it can't come out. So just get you a couple of scrap pieces and install it just like it was actually installed on your final product. And put it in here and run the saw, and the pieces don't come flying out at you. Also, if you're doing the edge, well, the box is flipped on its side. If you're doing this edge extrusion, then get you the same pieces and put a tall piece all the way across, and you can cut down past the edge extrusion, and it doesn't go crazy, doesn't fly off. It doesn't bend this inward. It stays nice and perfect. So thought I would add that if you put these pieces in there, you can safely cut little bitty slithers off of this thing without them flying out at you. Okay, I found a piece of the edge extrusion, and when you're doing the miters, you can do it real easy. Just you can miter it any way you want. The problem happens though, if you need to make that straight and you're going to cut this off, or you're going to cut the miter in the other direction, then you'll have a piece about this big that's going to go flying. Now, if you cut it anywhere near the bottom, that as soon as it flies off, it can touch the edge of the blade and go flying. If you capture it, if you have a piece of wood clamped in place, if you're doing like production pieces and you have this piece of wood clamped here, so that you can just, let's see, if you got this piece of wood here, so that you can actually just push this extrusion up against it and chop it, and so that every piece is exactly the same length, what happens is it gets caught in here and goes flying. Well, even with extrusion, the edge is so thin and it's like real easy to bend that you always want to cut it on a piece like this. So just do this one-handed. Just slide it over this piece like that. Then you hold it up here and you can cut it. You can still use a gauge block, or you can still clamp something up here so that you cut every piece the same every time, because this piece won't go flying. It's going to stay in here once you cut. And I think it was actually, this was actually me cutting the extrusion the other way, like this. Actually, the lines look better over here. Yeah, you can see the lines are almost the same. So put your piece in there and it keeps from bending the bottom right here. It stays nice and straight. Gives you a better cut, and it's a lot safer. So save your scraps and use them when you're cutting this aluminum, because this stuff will hurt you. Okay, we're inside of my little 10 by 10 shop, and I wanted to show you, if I could, the flight case that we built, which is 4 foot long, and including the top is 2 foot tall and 2 foot wide. If I can get over here and get a better shot of it. And it's on its side because we're getting ready to measure for the bottom, which is this piece of plywood. And then we're going to get the 4 wheels down there and mount. But I just wanted to go over the fact that The only, money-wise, the only real reason to build a flight case is if you have a specific need. Whoops, I'm tripping all over stuff because it's a little bitty shop. If you have a specific need and they don't offer one online, if it's a pretty much a standard size case, you're better off just buying it. I have an amp rack, and I think I bought it. I think it was like $170 or $180, and it was like, I don't know, $15, $20 shipping. It might have even been free shipping, but for less than $200, I got like an amp rack. I forget how many spaces it is, but I mean, I couldn't build it for that. I've got $130 in aluminum and ends, and it all was shipped from Panelcom, which they had everything. But the guy, I basically told him what I was building, and he gave me a build list. This is what you need. Well, he forgot to add corner straps that go right here. It's just like a 6-hole corner strap. Well, that's not that big of a deal because they're only like $1 a piece. But I just ordered them yesterday. 8 corner straps is like $8.50 something cents, but it's $12 for shipping. So I'm actually paying more for shipping than the straps. So if they would have given me the list for the corner straps at the same time, then I could have included that in shipping. My shipping was almost $40 for shipping. And I supplied my own wood. Now this is oriented strand board, and it's about $11 a sheet. Plywood is about $18 to $20 a sheet. Plus if you buy laminate to go over it, it's $85 a sheet, which it calculated to be just over a sheet needed of laminate. So $150 worth of laminate and probably $40 worth of plywood. So you're looking at $200 just in wood. Then you got another $130 in extrusion. So that's $330 plus shipping, so that's $370. So the box is basically costing me. Oh, and then you got the wheels, and then you got paint, and then you got the texture paint. So I mean, this thing's cost basically $400 easy. So if you can find one online for less than $400, it's 2 foot tall, 2 foot deep, and 4 foot long with 4 wheels on it. You know, if it's anywhere under $350 to $400, just go ahead and get it, because I mean, it's a good experience to learn how to build one, but money wise, it's cheaper just to buy one and modify it the way you want.